Here's a quick demonstration of LFOTool, coming out March 22nd on X4 Records. First, I'm going to add a freeware soft synth so we have something to process. And I'm just going to draw a long, say, 8-bar note. We're going to add LFOTool. By default, LFOTool will not change the sound of the track it's on. I've enabled the filter, which acts as a standard filter. But now we can have this LFO graph change the filter cutoff by raising the value here. You can hear that as I change times, the LFO position jumps to maintain the phase alignment based on your host tempo. If you do not wish to have that, you can disable this anchor, and it will operate like an analog type LFO where the tempo will just change, but the position will not be anchored to the actual bar beat position. Now you notice as I change the tempo, it's not going to change its position. Also, if you don't want actual tempo-based times, you can disable this musical note, and then you get a frequency in hertz, just like an analog LFO. Up here in the top right is a presets browser. Save your own with the disk icon below, and they'll enter into this menu. Allows you to capture the entire state of LFOTool. One very basic technique which is useful for LFOTool is to simulate sidechain compression off of a kick drum without having to go to the hassle of setting it all up. All you need to do is add LFOTool, and you can select one of these sidechain presets. What happens now is the rate will say quarter note, and you can see that the depth of the LFO is being applied to the volume. So now when we listen to the synth, you get a pumping type of effect. You can add some smoothing if you don't want it quite so smacky. And if you wanted to, you could apply that to filter as well. Just to demonstrate a bit further, I'm going to add nerve so we have a rhythmic backdrop. I'll just call up a preset here. I'll turn down the volume a little of nerve so we can still hear what we're doing. So you can hear without LFOTool and with. Here's some other presets. LFOTool can also send MIDI out, so you can use this to control a parameter on any sort of soft synth or hardware external synth which receives MIDI CCs. There's a lot more to LFOTool, so be sure to check out the manual on x4records.com.